Welcome. It's Thursday again. It's always a treat to be back, man. We love doing the live from the loft. Tonight we got a special guest, Duke Tumatoe, is going to be on, and it's from the living room series that we're doing downstairs. And look for a lot more of that coming up in the future. We have a lot of fun with that. He got to hang out with Lil, our good buddy Chet Chili's in there, so it's always a treat to have him in there. Love him so much. Tonight we're going to start off with some fresh licks with Troy. So let's jam a little bit. I got a friend. I got a friend. I got a friend who gets all day long and no never stops. He's got the green, think you know what I mean. And I got a friend plays guitar all day long and no never stops. He's got the dream, think you know what I mean. And I've been looking around, and time's confused by the sounds of the ground. I see me, see everyone's gotta be free. I got a friend and he dies every day, you know, devil's got his soul and he won't let go. And I got a friend who gets high every day, you know, never stops. He's got the green thing, you know what I mean. And I've been looking around, and time's confused by the sounds in the crowd. I see me, everyone's gotta be free. I got a friend, I got a friend, I got a friend, I got a friend who's high all day long and will never stop. He's got the dream, you know what I mean. Yes, I got a friend, and you're our friends, so we'll see you in this interview. Thanks very much. Bruce Hornsby in the Range. What a great song, man. I got a quick short story for Bruce. I got to go to Red Rocks, and one of my good friends, Patrick, got me into the rehearsal there, and I got to see these guys play this song during rehearsal. It was really cool. They did it way different, but I've also really loved this song. So a couple tips on this. You know, there's different ways to play everything. A lot of times we like to play the open chords. And so what I did with this song is I took it and I moved all these chords up to the triads. So I'm just really playing, you know, 3 strings at a time up a little bit higher, just to give it a different feel for the acoustic, so that we're all not doing the open chords, which are great. They sound great, and you get a lot of strings, but you get a little redundancy on the octaves on it. But and I also think it gives it a little feel for the intro. We're trying to kind of recreate a little piano there. So, one of the tips I have on doing a song like this is don't be afraid to do the smaller chord, to bring it up higher and do a 3-note chord on it, as opposed to doing the old traditional full bar chords or full open chords. Now the open chords work great in the verse, and you'll see in the video that I do that a lot. So we run the verse A minor, E, D, C, G, D, and C. And the reason I do the open chords in the verses, they sound fuller and they're easier to sing over, versus doing this up high. And we do the higher ones really to get the feel in the melody of the song. So my tip for you guys today is learn the 3-note chords, learn them up higher on the neck, and you'll be able to embellish and take these songs into a different realm. We got a kind of special treat right now because Duke's going to come out and hang out with us for a second, and then I'm going to step back and help get him set up in the background. But I believe that you used to open for Duke.
I did.
And he remembers you. So we're going to bring him out, and then I'll get his band.
Give it up for Duke Tumatoe.
So give it up for Duke Tumatoe.
Foot pedals to control this microphone too?
With them red tennies, I think you could control anything down there. How you been, Duke?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Now, where are you living now?
I live in Carmel. I'm living in Carmel, actually. Just about 100 miles south.
Moving on up to Carmel, huh? Nice.
God has been very kind to me.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it is.
So are you gigging a lot?
Yeah, we are. We're doing quite actually we had a show in Kansas City canceled tomorrow night. And the next week we're in South Carolina, and then we'll be back up. We're actually back in Fort Wayne on the 7th of June at the Follinger Theater with Mitch Ryder. So.
Oh, Mitch Ryder. That ought to be fun.
What are you doing? Is this like a full-time interview thing? Because do I have to answer truthfully to other questions, or can I just?
Nah. You never have.
Bullshit is my. Well, I always had this philosophy that if you're lying and it improves your career, it's okay. I was saying in the back room, telling Matt that we are. This is my 50th year of having my own bands. 50 years.
Oh my God, that's fabulous.
Started a band.
That's so cool.
Started a band called the All Star Frogs in 1969. Yeah,
I remember.
And the rest, as they say, is history. And the question was asked someone here on the dais when did you decide to have a career in music? And I honestly never decided to have a career in music. I just started playing guitar, and then I believe the rest of it was in God's hands. And proving once again, as I often say, God has a heck of a sense of humor.
Yes, he does. Absolutely.
And the other side of it is, you want to hear God laugh, make a plan. That's a little bit philosophical for this environment. I apologize. I could tell some bad jokes, but I don't think I'll do that either. Question. Are you asking questions, or am I just making up stuff?
Does anybody have any questions for Duke?
They're all afraid now. Scaredy cats.
Put them all on the spot.
Okay, what do you got? There's one back there.
I met my husband at one of your shows.
And how'd that work out?
Still going strong.
I met a couple of my wives at some of my shows, too. Yeah.
How'd that work out?
Some better than others, you know. There's a story there. Jimmy, the keyboard player, who's probably out in someplace getting high, we started playing together before the All-Star Frogs. We started playing together in 1967 on a band called King Edward and the Gay Poppers. It was a soul band, and we played all the chitlin joints and did all dance steps and all that stuff.
No kidding.
Yeah, we can't find any pictures of it because it's pretty hysterical, but that's when we first met, and then we worked together in 6 decades at least,
So what inspired you for your original material?
Well, I grew up on the south side of Chicago, and I was a witness this distance away from guys like Muddy Water, Howlin' Wolf,
Nice.
Albert King, B.B. King, Little Milton, J.B. Hutto. Just the list goes on, and it was just John Lee Hooker. Just the list goes on. Little Walter and James Cotton, and This next tune is from the latest CD. Again, this is a song. Let's see. Tune entitled Muddy Waters. It's autobiographical in the sense the first time I saw Muddy Waters was I was 13 years old, and it was a Saturday afternoon in the south side of Chicago. I kept trying to say it was the west side, but I'm sure it was the south side. 13, you don't think about that stuff. But this is a tune entitled Muddy Waters. 1, 2, 3. Standing outside a broken screen door on the west side of town, listening to the band in the afternoon, inside getting down. Doing it right, Lord, they were all kinds of incredible things. All of a sudden, in heaven and hell, I heard Muddy Waters sing another view, another view. He was standing right there in front of me, but he was in some other place. Tell by the way he leaned his head and the look on his face. Where did he go? Did he get there? Could I get there too? First time ever in my life, I knew what I wanted to do. Another you, kicking in your soul. Another you. Oh. It had his mojo working, put your wang gang. What a rolling stone gone. Another you. Oh yeah. Years later, I met the man. He was kind as he could be. Struggled for the words to tell him what his music meant to me. Mr. Waller, you're the best that's ever been. Would you, sir, be so kind as to sing that line again? Another you, another you. Was a man can never be satisfied. Was a rolling stone now. Another view, another view. And all those guys, and Willie Dixon, and the inspiration for the music was the interesting thing about it is, I don't know how much you folks know about all the songs of Willie Dixon. He wrote apparently like 600 some odd songs, and of those 600 songs, probably 550 of them were humorous. mean, the aspect that I got from the blues, 300 pounds of, hey, hoy, 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 I'm 300 pounds of heavenly joy,
That's
you know.
true, yeah.
What is
that's
it, 29
true,
ways to
yeah.
get through my baby's
right,
door, you know,
yeah,
and
Yeah.
even the stuff like I'm a man. If you listen to the original recording, Muddy's recording of I'm a Man, when he goes, I'm a man, and you hear all these gals in the background laughing at him, you know, because it's tongue-in-cheek kind of stuff, you know. And, you know, and it's like, because I'm here, everybody know I'm here. I'm the hoochie coochie man. Everybody know I'm here, you know. Yeah, baby.
So you found inspiration.
I found inspiration
for that?
from the energy of it. I mean, the one of the pitfalls of blues is that it's does not translate spectacularly to recordings. It's one of those things that if you're in a small room
Yeah, I
hearing
agree with
an
you
artist
there.
play and you're feeling the energy of the situation, it moves you. And
I agree.
that's what got me. And I just played guitar after that. The rest of it, as they say, is history.
And how did you come up with I shouldn't have?
Did what I did if I had him at
Yeah,
high.
I shouldn't have.
That,
what I did
that actually is a song written by Detroit Jr. Yeah, and his
I know
rendition.
that.
Yeah, Junior and I became pretty good friends before he passed away. He that song I heard it on the radio, like a blues radio in Chicago, years and years and years ago, and I went ahead and wrote all the middle stuff to it and changed the arrangement, and did what I did, and I wasn't high when I did that, but I. Yeah, and he was a big fan of it, you know.
Wow.
There's a couple of classic stories of him coming to shows and bringing. Never mind. That's a story I can't tell.
Oh, sure you can. We're all friends here.
Yeah. So yeah, that wasn't mine, but yeah.
Huh. I had no idea.
Well, you should read the liner notes.
I
See, that's how it
should.
works.
I should read the liner notes, actually. Yeah.
So what are you up to these days?
Fat and sassy. And getting out once in a while.
Yeah.
Not very often.
Yeah.
But once in a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's nice. I mean, I've been through quite a bit. I'll be 72 here in
God bless your heart.
less than a month, but
Bless your heart. God love you.
and this getting old thing ain't for sissies. I'll tell you that for
It's
sure.
not for sissies.
Parts stop working without even knowing why. You know, hey, what the hell is that? The leg just quit. But I ain't dead yet.
Don't jinx it.
I think we're setting up here. We found Jimmy. Jimmy, I was talking about you. I was telling him Eddie Lane stories.
Well, we're sure glad you're here, Duke.
Nice to be here. Thank you. Thank you
So
very
good
much.
to see you again.
Good to be here.
Cool.
Let's just have some fun. Wouldn't have did what I did if I hadn't been high. 1, 2, 1, 2. Woke up this morning, feeling ashamed. They tell me last night I did some other bad things. Everybody know I'm not that kind of guy. Well, I did what I did. If I hadn't been high. Went to a nightclub and I set up the house. Didn't pay my tab, I just walked out. And the bartender knows I'm not that kind of guy who'll live without paying. If I hadn't been high. Jumped in my car, speeded down the street. All the police were chasing me. Lucky this morning just to be alive. Would have driven that way if I hadn't been high. Oh, a girl fell with me when I left last night. Don't know how I came home with another man's wife. Everybody knows I'm not that kind of guy. Would have did what I did if I hadn't been high. Would have did what I did if I hadn't been high. Oh, I woke up my neighbors trying to get in the door. I was so embarrassed I was on the wrong floor. My neighbors know I'm not that kind of guy. Would have did what I did if I hadn't been high. Have any of you ever been high? I, of course, have been high many, 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 many times. In the Fort Wayne area, too. As well as 700,000 cities worldwide. I've been high many times in public places. You may have seen me. We have spoken at length about many topics: friends, family, personal problems, financial problems. I, of course, don't remember. I've been high many times in public places, but strictly in the interest of science. I've sacrificed myself to make a study of the phenomenon. I've become the world's foremost expert, a self-educated PhD in the field of high-ology. Ladies and gentlemen, here tonight, the one and only, the incredible, incomparable, astounding, astonishing, really confounding, man of tomorrow here today, the famous Dr. Duke Tumatoe. Well deserved. In my studies, I have uncovered things that you should be aware of. When you get high, peculiar things happen to you, and they are not your fault. You know why? You wouldn't have did what you did if you hadn't have been. You will spend too much money. Never go to a grocery store when you're high. Never go to a gambling casino when you're high. Never watch the QVC or the Home Shopping Network when you're high. Never buy a boat when you're high. Never buy a used car when you're high. Never propose or get married when you're high. My personal problem: never ever talk to a judge, an attorney, a uniform official, or an ex-wife when you are high. When you get high, sometimes you will say things that aren't exactly 100% true, and on occasion you will simply lie like a motherfucker. You'll say things like, "You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. I've never done this before. Of course I remember your name. I've never even met your sister. It's never felt this good."
He's thinking of something.
This is just one for him.
He's high.
Yes, I'm wearing one. Can't you feel it? He's such a special guy, isn't he? Just for that, we're gonna have a drum solo. We could do it in this song. All right. What are we talking about? When you get high, these things that happen to you are not your fault. You know why? Why? You wouldn't have did what you did if you hadn't have been. I want you all, please, to repeat after me. Are you ready? I wouldn't have did what I did. I wouldn't have did what I did. Yep, if I hadn't have been high. If I hadn't been high. I wouldn't have did what I did. I wouldn't have did what I did. If I hadn't have been high. If I hadn't been high.
From the living room. Man, that was a fun time, wasn't it, Troy?
It was.
I noticed you running back, through getting everything set up, and you look like you were 10 years younger, man. I think it was back in your roadie days,
I must have been living a little too hard since then, because I did looked a lot better. It seemed like it was 10 years ago, and it was what, 3 years ago?
Yeah, it was 3 years ago. From the living room series, we're planning on having a bunch more of those coming up, so we got great plans for the future. We love that set. We're going to have Duke back for a one-on-one up here in the loft, which is going to be great. We've been talking to him and his people on that, so we're looking forward to that. Lil did a great job with that. I love seeing Lil, and I loved seeing the history between those two, because you could definitely tell there was history.
Oh, yeah.
So that was really cool. I saw Javier running around the background there. Jav's an awesome sound man, and he's to me, he sets the bar for soundmen around here, and he also has he does a lot of the Rock Plaza stuff, and he's been the sound man of choice in this town for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, him and Steve Wright used to run sound together.
Oh, man, those guys are awesome.
And in being a performer and slash sound engineer, there's always a level of anxiety that goes on the day of a show, and having a very quality sound guy it changes the experience so much for me, because I have spent so much less time worrying about the sound, and just knowing that you can relax is worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, you don't worry about that part of it. That part's handled. You know that it doesn't get any better than that. Yeah, it was great hearing about Duke and some of his stories and all the greats that he's got to work with over the years.
Something that I heard Dave say with that most people's perception of him, at least most people who came across to him from Bob and Tom, and that's how I came across to him, so I assume that's how most people are familiar with him, would think that he's a comedy musician. But he's just a musician that's very funny.
He's the real deal. He's a real legend. To me, he's like Muddy Waters. You know, he's amazing on guitar, and you don't. I think a lot of people don't get that right off because like you were saying earlier, Bob and Tom and God bless our Colts and the songs that he did, you know, on the radio, at least in this region, were, you know, they focused on his funny songs in this place. Yep. But when you see him perform live, it's unmistakable how great he is at weaving and creating songs, and singing, and the blues is woven in his soul.
Yeah. Well, and he said, I mean, I think in the interview he said he's been playing for 50 or 60 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine how he could still even talk, let alone he hits insane notes. I mean, like, he's incredible. Mm-hmm. And it's like, after that long of playing live, that many shows, you know, just that he can still do it flawlessly. It's incredible.
He doesn't phone it in,
No.
man. There's no autopilot. He comes in and he takes that energy level to 11, you know? And, yeah, it was a fantastic show. You know, that room came to life, and it's probably one of the top 5 shows in the Phoenix, in that room that we've had out of 600 some shows. So
Yeah, and he really captured the audience too.
yeah, what a treat it was to have Duke with us, and we look forward to having him up here again and having him in the loft and digging even deeper, because there's a deep well there of talent and music and history. You know, a lot of people don't know he was in REO. You know, REO Speedwagon. So, you know, thanks for joining us tonight. We're gonna sign out with a video from Wizard Inc. And we'll see you next week.